Hello and welcome to another episode of Chestnut Checkers. I am Keith Riddle here as always with my co-host Jordan Tampien, and today's guest is another power. I would call you like a power female entrepreneur,
like
right?
That's good.
Yeah. Well, we just interviewed Danielle,
Yep.
but today's guest is another power female entrepreneur, none other than Alicia Newman.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey.
Finally got you on here.
Yeah, this is exciting. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And you brought smoothies.
I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should set
And
this
you
as an
brought-
I did,
expectation for all future guests.
Yes, please bring smoothies. Alicia brought smoothies, and
And they
this
are
is my
legit.
favorite. Yeah,
It's
they're
by far I
legit.
drink too many of those. Those are good.
The legits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between that and the acai bowls.
The Mighty Bowl. Yeah.
Well, jumping right into it for the listeners that don't know
yeah.
or not or listening and not watching, Alicia is the owner of Method. You call it Method Juice Bar? Is that what it's
Method
called?
Juice Cafe.
Method Juice Cafe here
Yes.
in Spokane.
Yeah.
And you guys do probably make the meanest smoothie in Spokane
Yes.
for sure.
I think
I
so.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel better after having it. That's not the case with most smoothies.
Yeah, I would say. The recipes were, so I purchased Method a few years ago, and the recipes were
Oh,
with,
I remember.
Oh, you were involved
part of the
in the
intimate
decision.
Oh,
I remember.
making.
Yes.
Keith's been involved in my story for a very long time. But yeah, so I purchased it from Nick Murto and Tyler Lafferty, and they started it, oh gosh, it's 12 years
Yeah.
now.
Actually, Tyler was one of our first guests
Yeah, he's awesome.
we ever had. I like that guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I say it like it's past tense. Like he's still around. He's not. I still like that guy. I liked that doing that interview. I guess is what I was alluding to. But yes.
Yeah, and the recipes came with it, and it's awesome.
So did you?
Literally.
How did you get? Remind me of that story, or fill us in on that, because like, did you work there before? Did you just know them? What?
Yeah.
How did that get created?
Well, so January 2020.
So I'm assuming you weren't just sitting around like looking for a juice bar to buy, but maybe you were.
Maybe you were.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, it was wild how it all happened. So January 2020, I had actually just left Froyo Earth. I was managing 7 locations it's a yogurt shop. They have 2 like Wenatchee, Chelan, and then 5 here. And I had left and needed a job. And so I had once before gone to Method with my sister-in-law, Becky Newman. She's amazing. And she took me, and we had the integral smoothie. It's berries and just traditional, and I loved it. And then I kind of never thought about it again, really. And then I needed a job, and they were hiring in January 2020. This is right before COVID hit. And so I step into this role. I meet Nick. He's awesome. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do this thing. And then March, COVID hits and everything is like turned upside down. And luckily, we were the only like fast food, good for you type restaurant in Spokane that was open.
Yeah, I wouldn't call you guys fast food, but what you mean is like speed.
Yes.
Speed. Not
Yes.
not fast
So
food like you're
fast.
thinking
Yes.
fast. Yes,
Yeah.
fast.
But healthy for you
Speedy.
option during that whole time. And so everything else is shut down. And so we go to takeout, right? And it was crazy. We just blew up. So I worked for him for them.
Were you guys doing delivery, or were people there were
You just
delivery?
order and you just go pick it up.
Yeah, like curbside.
Curbside, basically.
Yeah, curbside pickup. And so I worked for them for a couple of years, and it was great. And then I, go into my story a little bit. So I worked for them for a couple of years, managed that. And what's funny is they actually owned a gym as well that's right next to it. It's called the Union Studios. It's an indoor rhythm cycling, yoga, TRX studio. And they would always be like loud, like playing their loud music, and they'd be all excited. And I'd be like, be quiet. I'm serving smoothies over here and like doing my thing.
Hold on, is
picture
smoothie
it.
serving supposed to be quiet? Do people go to smoothie shops for like zen?
It's a very hush hush.
Like, hey, listen, I came here to get my smoothie and some peace and quiet. And these cyclists over here are
Namaste.
causing a ruckus.
Namaste.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does rattle the walls, so there's that.
Oh yeah, it's loud.
It is
It is loud. If you ever,
I'll give you some structural content to it after this one, but because we built out their new space and
yeah.
the amount of money it costs to insulate from that noise, and we still got complaints. Like it was walls within walls within walls.
Yeah, with
to
concrete.
frame it out, and then literally, and we still get complaints from how loud it is.
Yeah.
Not as many. Worked
Not as many. Yeah. We like bass.
Yeah.
I mean, and I say we because it's just so funny that like I had this perception of the gym and I had never gone to a class. I was just like running this juice bar, right? Because I came from restaurant background. And so I'm running this juice bar. I have this perception of the gym. I'm like, just be quiet. I'm doing my thing over here. And then what's wild is, so I did that for a couple years. And then I had twins. So I had twin girls. They're 4.5 years old, Catherine and Elizabeth. And I did that during that time, like right at 2 years in. So they were born, April 29th, 2021. And I went to a class like after I gave birth to them. And I fell in love with it. And so it's just wild to like I
Was it a spin class? What kind of class was it?
I went to a spin class and it was like, postpartum stuff after having the girls. And then I was like, oh,
and you were like, turn up the bass.
Yeah, I was.
Louder. Let's rave. I got kids at home. This is my release.
It really is. Yeah. And so it was like my time, right, for myself. Yeah. And so then I fell in love with it and started understanding and I'm like, oh, this is actually a really great concept. Juice cafe with a gym attached to each other. Go get your smoothie afterwards. And Nick and Tyler just created an amazing concept. And so at that time, they actually asked me, well, I kind of approached them and said I was interested in possibly purchasing it at that time, but I had never owned a business. I had always worked for others who owned businesses. I worked at Twigs. I worked at Downriver Grill. Like I'd always just worked for others. And I think you guys have had Julie on here as well, Julie Norris. She's an amazing human, and I worked for her. And so I just didn't know what I was doing. So I stepped away and started this property management company callode...
Yeah, I was going to say, when did we meet?
Right there.
Right there, man.
Well, she said, I know. What time frame, era?
22?
Yeah.
We met in 22?
So I had the girls.
Wow.
No, I guess. So I had the girls April 2021. Yep. And then this is what happened. So Nolan, my husband, ended up getting stage 3 melanoma 2 months after the girls were born. He found a mole. Get your moles checked. He found a mole, went in immediately. They were like, we need to get this thing out. It was in the back of his leg. And that was 2 months after giving birth to the girls. And through that, I was like in a full-on panic. Like, what the heck are we going to do here? And so my mother-in-law is best friends with Keith's mom.
Okay, yes.
Yes, Shelly and
true.
Teresa.
Yes.
And Teresa was cleaning your Airbnbs, and you had like...
She was managing them,
them and cleaning them, and you had 5, right? Was it 5?
I had 5 on one little block, the Rebecca ones that
Okay.
you were familiar with, and then the 2 behind... or at least the one behind the office. I think I had like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And my mom was kind of like, my mom had been, she was semi-retired, but she was helping me manage like nightly stays or my Airbnbs and stuff. And she said, I don't want to do this anymore.
Simply put.
She simply said, I don't want to do this anymore. And she wanted to just like truly retire and enjoy grandkids and do stuff. But she said, Keith, hey, I don't really want to do this anymore, but I found this gal. I know this gal who I think would be great. And she said her name's Alicia and blah, blah. And it was like her friends, Shelly Newman, right? It was her friends, son's daughter or daughter, wife. And in my, just bringing this story full circle, right? From my frame of reference, it's always like when somebody is like quitting their job, but they're like, but I know someone who could fill it in. Like in my mind, I'm like, this is a disaster, right? Like this is a disaster, right? Like you're leaving, I got to replace you, but now I have this weird obligatory shoe-in interview because like I want to go like interview the best candidates for the job and write her job description or whatever. Like, but now I have this obligatory. It's like your friend's daughter. Like, how am I gonna say no or like tell her that? And then I met Alicia,
And then here I come.
and the rest is history. But no, it was great.
No,
I mean, you were you were bubbly and you were nice and you were energetic, and I just was like, okay, this actually could really work. So that started our relationship. But the reason I introduced you initially on this podcast is like this like power entrepreneurial female. Is like, if you guys haven't already put these pieces together, right? So I meet Alicia, and she wants to start, we starts managing my short-term rentals, and within like a very short amount of time, she starts getting solicited by other people to manage their rentals. And now like Keith's shackles come back up again because I'm like, no, she's mine. Right? Like,
Now you're mine.
And actually,
no.
some of those rentals are Jordan's.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
Thank you.
Well, it made sense, right? Like, so I run
look at me directly.
you were the guy. We got beef now. No, it was, we're
what happened
we're in
too.
real estate, and we had a real estate office. These were mine. And so, but it wasn't even just you, Jordan. It was like even other agents in my office were like, they saw Alicia. She was coming in, again, nice, bubbly, friendly. They knew what she was doing. And so they would have clients who had bought a rental or wanted to take their house and turn it into a rental. Or, she was being introduced to other people in the industry. And so I think you came to me one day and you were like, I want to make a business out of this.
Yeah, and I was like, I have no clue how to start a business. No clue. Where did we go?
Yes. Well,
Yes.
that
Do
was,
you remember this?
we don't, there's so many angles we can come here. This is true. But what I'm alluding back to is, so you start Slumber, right? And we'll get to that in a minute. But you start Slumber with me, kind of, the short-term property management company. But you already have twins, a husband who's getting over cancer. You're managing a juice bar, and had the cycle thing even come into play yet?
It had not come into play yet. I was just going to classes.
Which, if anybody, just a frame of reference for anybody who just has like had a kid, like one kid, not even twins. Like anytime you have think about like right after you have a kid, like starting a business. To me, that sounds awful. Alicia has like twins, her husband's situation. She's going to start her own business, and she's already working in other businesses. So this is why I'm always like, think you're crazy, but I'm also enamored by you.
Thank you. Plus a 17-year-old. Well, he's going to be 17 next week.
Yeah.
So there's football season and girls and, all those things. So, yeah, it's just pretty crazy to look at all of it.
Okay, so let's go back now.
Okay.
But so you were working at Method. Mm-hmm. You have the kids.
Okay.
You go to your first spin class. Now you're seeing that the spin is cool.
Yeah.
But you don't have any ownership in it at that point. But and you don't have any ownership in Method. You're just managing there.
Correct.
Somewhere in there we meet.
Yes. Correct.
And so was Slumber your first business? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you start your first business, which is Slumber. Short-term property management. But you didn't own Method at the time, right?
No,
Were
so
you
I
still
walked
working
away.
it? Okay, you quit.
Yeah, I quit
Okay.
because I just knew that I wanted to focus on Slumber.
So here's the cool part. It's like I stole her from somebody else. But then when other people were trying to get it from me, I was like, no.
Yes.
Like a spoiled
Possession
child.
mentality.
Yes. Yeah. So I walked away from Method, and it actually worked out because they wanted to sell anyways.
Yeah.
And there was a girl, her name was Sammy, that was interested in purchasing Method, and they just needed to find a buyer for the union. So that whole transition was like Sammy ultimately was going to purchase Method, and so they had her manage it.
Gotcha.
And so she stepped in.
Oh, that makes sense.
I walked away. They continued their search for a buyer for the union because unfortunately with like the Northside location and that concept of them being together, they're in the same building, same lease.
Yeah.
So even if one shuts down, you're still on the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so they owned both businesses in the same
Correct.
building.
Yeah.
Started both at the same time.
Well, yeah, which I guess makes sense
But
now.
downtown,
and I guess,
though, was two different locations. So what we put them in Parkview was merging them, but the other one was over by Division and Second, like
so
by the
that's
Laser
where the
Quest
union.
area.
Yeah.
Union.
It was right by Catholic Charities and
Yep.
all that.
Sweet location.
Sweet. So sweet. So that location for the gym moved down to across from Brick West, which we love Brick West. They're our partner for all of our outdoor events.
Nice.
I know.
Meh.
They're pretty awesome. Just that little plug. Throw that in there.
Thank
what goes better than smoothies, cycling, and beer?
But I think in that order. So get a smoothie, go cycle,
in
and
that
then finish
order.
with a beer.
Yes.
European style for sure.
Yeah. So, yes. So then I walked away, started Slumber, doing that whole thing. Sammy steps in. They're trying to find a buyer. And then, I think it was about a year goes by, and the buyer, they had two, and it just fell through with the union. And so they're still trying to sell because, again, the concept is amazing. It's such a great space and great employees. And so Sammy and I sit down. She's trying to buy Method, and this is her first time owning a business, and it's totally different, which I'm sure you guys can relate to, starting a business like we did with Slumber versus purchasing businesses that are already established.
Yes.
Like huge differences. And so when I got when Sammy and I sat down and we were talking about possibly partnering with Method, it just seemed easier because the business was already established.
Yeah, partnerships are great.
Yes.
My brother would like to say the only partnerships. Oh, what's the only ship that doesn't sink, or the only ship that sinks is a partnership?
Yep. Yeah. It's fun. But it's okay. So then we went into business together. So she had 70%, I had 30 with Method. And Nick and Tyler were like, what about the gym? What do you think about that? And I was like, well, I had been going to classes. So it's cool to really full circle it. And I love full circle is I couldn't stand that place. Then I went to my own spin classes and my own journey. And then the opportunity to buy presented itself. And I was like, I feel so good here. I want it to keep going. That was my thought with the union.
Well, and fast forward even further is now you teach spin classes.
Yes.
So
which is
I mean, full
wild.
circle. Full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Full send.
I mean, my employees couldn't tell me no.
Yeah.
So
It's the beauty of owning it. You get to kind of do what you want to do.
I don't know if I'm a great
They
spin
also
instructor.
can't tell her to turn the music down.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, the walls are shaking.
Like that.
Yeah. So, wow. Yeah. So then Slumber, Union, Method. And in there, my husband started a general contracting business, which side by side goes really well with property management because he fixes everything for us. So, we have 4 businesses,
Kudos to
3
Nolan,
kids.
man.
Yeah, he's super good too.
What's up, Nolan? Shout out to Nolan.
Shout out to Nolan.
Yep.
He's amazing. And he's always just supported my dreams. He's a good one. To know him is to love him.
I would marry him.
I know. Yeah.
No, so let's transcend this story, right? So, I mean, amazing story, evolution-wise, but property management company, spin gym,
Studio.
spin studio, juice bar,
Yes.
juice
Cafe.
cafe, and then Nolan's general contracting. So 4 businesses,
Yeah.
3 children.
Yes.
How do you do it all? How do you manage it? What's the secret?
There's the question.
Yeah.
I cry a lot.
She does cry a
does
lot.
cry.
You do cry.
I do cry.
Me and Alicia's
makes me think I
relationship
need
has
to
been
cry
really
more.
good because she just I don't know. She's either softened me or she's got me because it's I don't know. I grew up with brothers and I'm a dude and I'm pseudo whatever type A, and so it was this bubbling ball of tears would come into my office on a weekly basis, and I would just literally be so awkward. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't.
What are we doing here?
It was sorry that things are not good.
It'll be better.
It's irrelevant, really, to
It's irrelevant.
to what we need to do.
Yes.
But
Still
she's
need-
very good at getting her tears out and then
Yeah.
pulling up her big girl pants and getting back to it. And it's amazing. But seriously, more tangibly, so you have all these things. What do you, because you end up with multiple employees and multiple businesses and multiple books and accounts and all that kind of stuff. So what are you doing on a daily basis, or how do you prioritize your day between all of these businesses that allows it? Because sometimes people can't run one business.
Yeah.
I know that I can't hardly.
Don't look at me.
But
Yeah, I get
you're
it.
running
Yeah.
4. How does that? What is the? Trying to think of a pointed question other than how do you do this?
Yeah.
But what are the kind of 2 or 3 most important things that you do to keep them all the balls rolling?
Yeah. Well, I think that I, for the last few years, have been living just in fight or flight, is put out the next fire, pick up the next kid, just surviving. And I really had to focus in on getting the right people in the right roles. So people matter.
Yeah.
They do matter. And I used to always kind of hear, and this was just from I sold cell phones way back in the day. I worked for Activate. It was an AT&T Activate Cellular. And I just, I had kind of tough guy bosses that would be everyone's replaceable. And so I had that mentality, and I realized over owning businesses that not everyone is replaceable. And so, pouring into them, checking in on them. I would say that like for the first couple of years, I was just very like kind of cut off and doing, like I said, fight or flight, just make it through the day. And that wasn't working.
Well, yeah, and especially because the businesses you run as well are very 24/7. They're fairly
Always on.
nonstop.
Yeah.
The property management specifically, I have watched that industry just grind people to a pulp because it's so, it's the late night calls, it's the weekends, it's whatever. Like, there is landlord tenant law, and you don't have these kind of like standard business hours. But also, you mix in a spin gym and a juice bar, and it's like, yeah, they might have more typical hours, but a lot of those are like early morning hours or late evening hours. They're not the typical like 9 to 5. People usually go to spin at 1 p.m. Not to say they don't, but it's going to be after work. It's going to be before work. You get your peak hours. So it's definitely something that I think, logistically could also be hard because it's not like any other business, or they're not necessarily like any other sort of 9 to 5 business in general.
Yeah.
So fight or flight, you're kind of, and I watched that time period for you, and I think
Yes.
it's one of those things that's always interesting from the outside looking in. But like, I think you also did it with grace, which was interesting. But what changed? What flipped the switch? Because I saw it. I don't know what the switch was, but I definitely saw it. Like when you went more from like chasing your tail and running around like a chicken with your head cut off, doing all the things, to kind of being a little bit more poised. A little bit more purposeful, a little bit more structured, systematic. What was there a time or a thing that changed for you?
I don't know if there's like an actual point, and I think Nolan would probably remember better. He has such a good memory, but and he was in it, right? Like he was in all of it. But relationships were probably my breaking point. Is your smoothie gone?
Yeah, I was trying to do that politely.
It wasn't polite.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, no more
We have the
smoothie for
Pepsi
Keith.
fuller.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, I would say like relationships falling apart.
Seeing the negative fall out of it.
It broke me. Yeah, is like losing relationships over just silly stuff. Really looking back at it now, but just realizing like relationships matter, and you have to care about people in order for them to care about you. And so I would just say like, again, pouring into people, loving people, and creating relationships where they trust you and you can trust them. And I like Caroline that runs the gym. I know she upholds every value we've ever created, and she's absolutely phenomenal, and the people follow her.
Yeah.
With Slumber, property management is on 24/7, so it's a little bit harder to like totally back out of it. But the people that I have there now, I think it's just that shift in my mindset where, I don't know, I think for the first time I just saw people. I don't really know how to explain that. I had a really hard upbringing, and I didn't know how to necessarily connect. And
so by saying that, so you mean when you saw people, it slowed you down enough? Because I would say the same thing to Keith. I was fortunately able to watch you grow your businesses that way, but there was a panic period where it looked panicked, whereas now when I see it's not. There's no panic, but I would argue it's probably not easier.
Yeah, no, it's not easier.
And so it was by seeing those relationships go that you put it in perspective, or what did that cause you to do?
Yeah.
When you're saying you saw the relationships.
Yeah, I just think it put it in perspective of what's important.
Okay.
In this life, and
That's good.
relationship is. And the other thing, a big piece, is I also started realizing how important family is. Again, coming from an upbringing, both of my parents are deceased from alcoholism, and that was rampant in my childhood. And so I wasn't able to connect, and it's been tough, being a mom and trying to navigate that when I have this entrepreneur spirit and this hardworking spirit, and I just want to conquer the world. But then like God gave me 3 beautiful, healthy children. And so now I would say that I'm shifting. The girls probably shifted a lot of that mindset, is like seeing things through their eyes a little bit more and bringing them alongside. Like they go to the smoothie bar all the time and make the employees give them frozen bananas and granola, and they're putting their gloves on and they're taking orders and they're going to the spin gym. And I would say that piece has changed dramatically for me. Yeah. And allowed me to just be, I don't want to say kinder, but like, yeah.
I think there's also a coming of age, not just in business, but in life in general, but also specifically, and I'm alluding back to the recent podcast we just had with Danielle or Dee, of like just kind of that like growing as a leader and growing as a human being kind of have parallels. Yeah. But I think leadership for sure forces you to grow as a human being. Like it forces your emotional maturity level. It forces your kind of all of the things that I think come with adulting also come with business owning. Yeah. And so I think there's a lot of parallels, but it's also an expedited process, because I know that I have grown a lot from being like a father and a husband in life, because those situationally will force you to, grow up. Yeah. Right? You're not a kid anymore. Like you have a spouse, you have a significant other, you have kids, you got people you're responsible to. Business is also like that. But it's like they can also be with like a magnifying glass, because it's, like when I started my first business, it was like 6 or 7 people, but it grew to 150. And so it's like when you start to be responsible to the livelihood or the well-being of hundreds of people, that's going to force you to it's going to expose you and your shortcomings and who you're not or who you need to be. And it's going to force you to grow into that or fail. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so I think that's, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's definitely a truthism about business ownership is there's nowhere to hide. Yeah. Right?
I think it's good. Yeah.
There's nowhere to hide and exposes flaws, right? It's just, and I think the more that comes on is the more pressure that gets applied. It's like anything. When you apply pressure, it's going to show the weaknesses. And I think that's what kind of the scale you're talking about. I mean, it's hard enough for, sometimes I have to put this in context. Like some people's dream would be to start and own a Brick West.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was your thing, and you grew it, and that was your baby, and you, excuse me, and sometimes I forget that. And so where I've kind of, as I watched your journey, very similar to mine, was like, they just applied so much pressure that the machine couldn't hold it.
Correct, yeah.
My skill set couldn't handle the amount of pressure that's being applied, and I didn't have as many of those outlets to look to. And I would say the grounding moment for me too was kind of sitting in some of that, because I don't sit in that stuff. It's hard for me to do. Yeah. But sitting in that and then just gaining a better perspective of, all right, well, what's the next step today? And I think you've done a really good job of that.
Thank you.
Because there are points where, I mean, again, there's just hard businesses. Yeah. Like I was talking to Whit, and she was telling me like even Starbucks is down. I'm like, if Starbucks is down, sales I think a lot of people would be. And it's the entrepreneurs who take that, and instead of seeing that as, oh, that's exactly why it doesn't work, is like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And then they keep showing up and keep showing up and keep showing up. And from what I've seen of what you've done, that's been the most impressive part. Was despite all of that, where somebody could have used any one of those excuses to just be like, nope, that's good.
Yeah. And there was many times where it felt that way. Yeah. Right? And it's like,
oh, she would quit like every other week.
Yeah, I would. I'd come in the Keith's office and say, shut it down, call all the tenants.
It's time. Serve notice.
Serve notice. Yeah.
I'm like you. They get a serve notice. We don't get a serve notice. You know, I was like, Alicia, you understand that, right? They're like, I'm moving out. That's them serving notice. Yeah. You don't hear this. She's like, I don't manage you anymore.
Be gone.
I'm serving notice to you as your manager that I don't manage you anymore.
Flipping the table.
I'm serving notice. You're serving notice. I'm serving notice.
We didn't give up. Yeah.
But what I think I love about it, and I think what you could probably speak to even more, is that I think a lot of people hearing this, because we do spend a little bit of time on that hardship people went through, but it's not even to dwell on the hardship as much as it to show that there's growth that happens there. Because I look at my life, and it is, the stuff I am working on is more complex, more difficult, more moving pieces, but I changed along the way. And that's why it's manageable. Yeah. It wasn't that my problems got easier, they went away. Like they never go away. Yeah. They will always be there. But then you watch as each person grows through, and it's like every time you overcome one hurdle, you just like build a little piece of armor. Then you do the next one, you build another piece. And so I'm excited to see where you are in 10 years running the city, doing something big like that, because you built that armor that makes them really good. And I have a really front row one because I recently hired, I have a management company, mind you, and I hired Alicia to manage a building I have. So, short plug, 4 Degrees Man. No, I'm joking. And I just watched her take over a building that was, I would call it floundering because I was the guy having to do it. And now all of a sudden we're full. People are finally paying. We know what to expect in the building. I'm like, this is what you're really good at.
Yeah.
And so it's been cool to watch you kind of from the outside doing that. As you're like, Jordan, what's this? I'm like, I don't know, man. Please help.
It's been good.
So,
yeah. And I would say the last piece is also being willing to listen to wise counsel.
Yeah.
So I think for the first time, right, I started finally kind of listening to the things you were telling me.
Maybe. No, I mean,
Keith here.
So to full disclosure, right, I wasn't your coach or your mentor. I was by proxy. We were business partners.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's where some of the frustration or the angst on my side, because I was just further down the path than Alicia at the time. Mm-hmm. And so it was an aha, like really, if we could break this down or unpack this, is really, it was an aha for me both ways. Was as a business person who had kind of been kicked in the teeth and learned the lessons, you want nothing more than to avoid that again, right? Yeah. But B, you also want to share your story and your experiences with other people so that they don't have to go through it. One of my ahas in that experience is like, there are just certain lessons that you can tell people till you're blue in the face, but they need to experience it, right? Now, painting this picture, right? This aha is like, I had unknowingly and yet voluntarily committed myself to that. And so
of going through it again, right, basically.
And so I was furious sometimes because I was like, I know where this goes. I know how this story ends. I know exactly what we're supposed to be doing right now or shouldn't be doing right now. And Alicia wouldn't necessarily, quote unquote, listen.
I wouldn't listen.
Right?
No.
Or take advice. But again, she wasn't paying me as a consultant or a coach. I wasn't. So I'm just a business partner. And she was the primary in the business. Like she was the day-to-day operator. And so I would kind of, and I told her, I said, like, listen, like, this is your baby, right? Like I have to, as a partner and as a good partner, but even as like an adult, sit here and be okay with your successes and your failures.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was mature enough to know that. But I was still upset or angry about it a lot of the times, right? Like I knew that I had to let it happen, but I was also like, why? But it was one of those things where that was also like aha for me. It was like, Keith, you idiot, like you did this, like you did this voluntarily. And so I think that can be one of those things with business partners in any realm, but especially if there is a gap between their experience as far as just like having been down a different road. Was I didn't want, for me, it felt unnecessary to go and have to re-experience hardships I'd already experienced so that Alicia could learn those hardships. But at the same time, I was like, "Oh, you idiot! You did it to yourself." But it was a learning process for both of us, right? Because I tell the story from my perspective, and I think Alicia's perspective, and you can tell it. But Alicia's perspective also was like, Keith was a know-it-all, or always thought he knew what we should be doing, and he wasn't. Her perspective was probably like I wasn't listening to her, or hearing out her ideas, or being open to some of her creativity and the things she wanted to do, because I was very diligent, like shutting it down very quickly, or no, we're not going to do that, or that's dumb,
or tried that.
Right. Yeah. And so I can imagine, and I lived through it. I'm sure it didn't feel good on your end a lot of the times, or because it's like, who's this guy? Right? He doesn't know what I do all day. He's not in the trenches with me. He's not taking these calls and so it's two. What I call that is, God, I wish I could remember who told me this, because it would be a great tip of the hat to them. But my placement is always a mentor of mine. A great mentor. I talked about the beach ball conversation. Are you guys familiar with the beach ball conversation? Mm-hmm. So a beach ball conversation a lot of times is like, there's 3 of us right now sitting around this table, and imagine in front of us there's a beach ball. Mm-hmm. Now, Alicia's going to look at me and be like, Keith, what color is that beach ball? And I'm going to look her in the face and I'm going to be like, it is blue, white, and red. And that is what it is. And she's going to be like, no, it's not. It is red, orange, and yellow. Mm-hmm. And we could ask Jordan the same thing. And the reality is that nobody is right, and everybody is right and nobody is wrong. Yeah. But you will defend it till the end of the earth. Like she will look at me and be like, you idiot, you moron. Can't you even see the ball? It is red, white, and orange, or red, white, and yellow. And I'd be like, no, it is not. And it's because we're all just speaking from our proverbial truth, which is totally based on our perception of the situation in a given moment. And it's so, I think, elementary or easy to look at somebody and be like, you're wrong, I'm right. Clearly you're not seeing what I'm seeing. And this is, anybody who tells me any different is just either a liar or an idiot or whatever. And the reality is that that's life, right? Like life is a beach ball conversation. I think we forget that. And so I think that's what that reminds me of is in those moments was she was just so, and good on, you, Alicia, for like standing your ground and pushing back and because it was it was a great, I think it was a.
But I also look at it, it's a lot like when I raised my daughter because it's a double-edged sword. That same grit is why you're here today.
Yeah.
But then that same grit is what probably caused a lot of problems.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's this
absolutely.
weird double side to it where you need a stubbornness in this game, but then it's also, you need to be able to open to those ideas.
For sure.
Like that's my biggest fear is like one day you go through all this, but you don't know how to distill it down to the person in it to actually be helpful to them.
Yeah.
Well, and so fast forwarding this conversation, and Alicia, feel free to step in and tell me if I'm wrong at any point in time.
No.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yes, please do.
You're wrong. I'm right.
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
Oh man, that one's gonna come back.
Yeah,
to haunt
it is.
me.
That one is me.
No, so fast forwarding this conversation is as we're no longer business partners in that venture, right?
Correct,
Alicia
yeah.
owns Slumber. We structured a deal, and but I think it really came down to the end of it being was we realized that I think we both had the same aha of neither one of us was necessarily right or wrong. We just were seeing things from different perspectives or different places in our lives, and what was kind of cool is like the business itself has now gone on to be successful and it's still doing everything. For me, what the aha for me was I didn't doubt Alicia and I didn't doubt the business. But what I got clear about was like I didn't want to be on the ride.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And Alicia was, I think you were confident in yourself and you were confident in the business and you just didn't want Keith on the ride.
We're both
She was
very
clear about
stubborn
not wanting Keith on the
individuals.
ride.
Didn't want the guy in the backseat complaining the
She
whole
wanted-
drive.
Yeah, right. But she wanted the autonomy and the
Yeah.
freedom to do it the way she wanted to do it and to do exactly what you're doing, which is amazing. And to also do it with other people that you solicited and invited in and built and grew with. And so
Yeah.
It's a good lesson on partnership in general, right? Is aligning interests.
Oh, yeah.
Like those are questions I ask now before bringing somebody on is like, what's our goal here? What's our win?
Yeah.
And when we're done with this, what is the win? And some of them are like, hey, I just want to be able to go to sleep at night and collect a check. Well, that's a way different investment vehicle than somebody who's like, hey, let's build something here.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas
Yeah.
before it was like, hey, Keith, you want to do something? Yep, let's do something. And then we'd get in and you're like, well, you don't even like it'd be like you taking me hiking. Sure, rucking, right? I'm like, I'll
Wrecking,
go.
Yes. Yeah.
But I don't love it. Like, I'm going to get halfway up and start complaining that we're still walking. You're like, why did I bring this fool with me?
well, it
And
becomes
and then
unenjoyable
it slows
for
you
both
down.
people, right?
Yeah.
And that's
You
the
know?
thing, then it slows you down because now you can have a momentum. Like I literally met with a good buddy now, but he had a partner for 10 years that funded it. So business doesn't go if the money's not there, like at the start. But now 10 years in, he's like, I can't grow anymore. Like I have to have, this partner is literally the reason I'm not growing.
Yeah.
And so he's buying them out now, and he's like, "Oh, we're having the best quarter we've had."
Yeah. It's awesome.
And so it's this weird thing where I do believe in partnerships, but I am like much more vetting of them than I think I've ever been.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just vetting the partners, it's vetting the whole situation, the scenario, the thing. Because like you said, someone could be like, hey, I just want to do something super cool. I want to do something that's a legacy for my family or, something super cool or something I can get behind or just that's a passion project. Someone else is like, I want to make $612.15 every week,
exactly.
right? Like it's very, and again, they both can be in the same industry with same ideas, both have success and still be coming at it from different angles. And the partnership itself starts to create a dynamic that is not enjoyable or is misaligned,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because you could actually, those two opinions you could put in the same partnership.
Yeah.
They're just structured differently.
Yes.
Like if you knew you had no voice in the seat and you're just the check, all right, well, that's a preferred equity, right? And so you could set up a structure. And that's just stuff you don't know until you go through it. But a bad partnership is really tough.
Yeah. And you have to be
But it
honest
can
from the
break it.
beginning
Yeah.
too. Like honest from the beginning is, I've had another partnership where there was just a falsehood of what owning a business looked like and gets in it and is like, oh, this is not what I ever expected. And it's like, no, this is when the hard stuff is happening. Are you gonna you gonna keep going or what are you gonna do here? And that's tough. That's tough to navigate. and watch too. Because I'm like, no, owning a business is hard work. You work more, you make less. That's just how it is. And unless you're having obviously awesome years, which you're going to get there at some point. But
and by less you mean like you per dollar per hour necessarily, not overall less, right?
Yeah.
And that those lines blur because it's like, what is work? And then it's like, well, is it being on my mind at 9 o'clock at night when I'm sitting in a chair, but my body's not physically moving, but my mind is still there at work, right? Like, so it's like, how do you quantify dollars per hours or whatever? But I do think that watching you and watching your growth and watching your different business aspects, how do you look at or how do you deal with partnerships now?
I don't have a partner. Obviously, my husband is my partner in Union and Method now. So we own most of Method. And we're going in the airport soon, which is exciting, Spokane Airport. And so we work together, right, in those two businesses. And he's been a huge help. With Slumber, the business partners I have now, I would say that the relationship is working really well because there was a clear understanding from the beginning of what each person's role was going to be. And there's been a couple of lines that are a little blurry, but I feel like we just go back to the core, back to the beginning. And that relationship has been really good. Do I think I would start another business with another partner? Probably not. I think that I've hit a place in my life where I love these businesses, but I'm in the years with the girls where I want to focus on them. And Colton's going to be a senior, and I'm just like, so I want to be there. And so that's why I put these people in position so that I could step out for a little bit. I think I got in the 4 years like what most people get in 10 or 15.
Well, you were running 4 businesses.
Yeah.
You did 4 times as fast.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just kind of like, maybe I just take a little break. I don't think I would. I don't know. But then Nolan always talks about maybe we should open a simulator golf studio next to the North. I'm like, great, another business. But I'm sim and spin. I don't know.
It's catchy.
It's catchy.
Put the juice bar in there and it's sips, spin, and sim.
Yeah.
Sips, sim, and spin.
Say that 3 times fast.
Sip, spin,
It's a cinnamon. Sounds like cinnamon.
And that's a serial entrepreneur in me, right? I'm sure both of you have that same quality. It's like
habit. And what I would say is, again, like throughout life, you figure out different phases, and I would say over it, right? Like, not in a bad way, but just I think it's like anything, but it's like, like retirement and travel. It's like everybody wants to like get old, retire, and then travel. But then if you meet someone who's been retired for 25 years, like they're not still on the travel.
They're not traveling.
They're not typically like, oh yeah, I want to go on 6 cruises this year and do it. They're like, no, I did that. Still retired, just a different phase of retirement, right? And I think entrepreneurialism, small business development, growth, charging into new, creative, fun things, like it has its place. But I think when you start to mature in your business career, you will find that there are other things in life that are just as or more important than just business. And so then you'll want to taper or mend your business to be a aspect of your life, not all of your life. Right?
Yes.
And then also just the fortitude or the forward thinking of knowing what it takes to be successful, truly successful in a startup or a partnership or a new business venture, to where you can, I would say, more educatedly make the decision to say yes or no. I would say like a lot of partnerships are formed and a lot of businesses are started not out of stupidity, but more out of ignorance.
Yes.
On the parties' parts that are beginning of what it's actually going to take to make it work. It's naivety, right? Like you're just a little naive, and that can be good and bad, right? Sometimes being naive is the only thing.
The only way to get you through.
But as you get older, you're not as naive, you're not as ignorant. You kind of know a little bit more about what you're biting off, and I think that goes into the rucking analogy that you brought up earlier of like, I took you rucking, is I think as long as all parties know what they're getting into, or has even if it's not the intimate detail, like you've never really rucked a day in your life and you're going to go rucking with me. But you know that I'm an avid rucker, and you know it's going to be somewhat difficult, and I'm going to make you carry heavy weight. But if I'm also aware of like, I'm taking Jordan for the first time, he's not used to this. Like we're both going to approach it to where we probably could go do it. And you might actually be like, no, it was kind of enjoyable. And I'd be like, hey, it's kind of nice having someone with me. But if I just go into it being me and you go into it being you, we're both going to be miserable. Yeah. You're like, what a jerk. He's not stopping. He's way in front of me. This thing's heavy. This is stupid. I'm like, why would he even come up here if he wasn't going to go? You know, it's like, so I think the knowledge around the situation can make it more enjoyable or less enjoyable, just depending on the experience of the people. And I think what I hear you saying and what I think I've said is like, knowing what I know now, it'd have to be a very specific right feeling situation. Or I just know enough to be like, it's not the idea. It's the I'm not willing to do what it takes.
Correct.
But I can say that in earnest and not in a bad way.
I can say that.
I know I'm a hard worker. I know I have what it takes. I know I'm capable of doing it. I'm at this point in my life not willing to trade what it takes to make business X, Y, and Z successful because of my other priorities or because of the other things I'm doing.
And I think for a lot of years, I was proving to myself that I could do it.
Yeah.
You know, like just, can I do this? Yes,
Are you
I
still?
can. I don't think so. I think that I'm, I just feel so grateful. Like I just have such a heart of gratitude for what we've gone through, where we're at, that my family has supported me the entire way, and that the teams that I have are just like remarkable people. And I just have this heart of gratitude. So
yeah, it's amazing what even just that difference does. I think in our last podcast, Danielle said the best, but we were talking about ceilings and floors. And I think too many times we see a ceiling, get on top, and then you're just looking to the next ceiling instead of just appreciating your new floor was your old ceiling.
yeah.
And I think I don't do that very often at all. We finally I got some traction, broke ground on some projects, and I'm like, sweet, they're going. And one of them's like a 100-unit building.
Yeah.
Like the thought 5 years ago of me even building one of those,
It's wild.
let alone the 7th or 8th one, like, and then you just lose that. And I think summing that all up is I forgot the importance of what just being grateful and for what you already have gives you an appreciation for what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And I think that's been one of the most aha moments. So then even when it gets really hard, you're like, man, these are like problems I wished for. I just didn't know my goal entailed them. Like when I started this, I didn't know those came with it, but this is exactly what I wanted.
This is
I
what I
wanted to be in the
wanted. I
throes
got
of it. I wanted to build these. I just didn't know that there are some hardships that come with trying to put a $20 million project in the ground.
Yeah.
But it's now I sit back and I'm like, no, this is great. Okay, what am I learning? What can I still be learning? What did I miss last time?
Yeah.
And how do we keep making it better? And then just showing up to do it. So
Well, in perspective, right? Is like we have amazing friends, David and Jamie. They own Click It RV, and Valley Auto Liquidators own a ton of businesses. And I've watched them walk through things that are much harder than I have, and that perspective has been huge for me. And that's that wise counsel I was talking about. Is I'm like, I'm going through this problem. How do you help me through it? And
see, I totally made that about me.
I mean,
I thought we limited it to wise counsel. Singular.
You are a
You were
wise
getting
counsel.
outside counsel this whole time.
Yes, I'm so
They were
sorry.
like, get away from Keith.
Step one.
all
Step
your
one.
problems
Step one,
will go
eliminate
away.
Keith from the equation.
God, business is doing better.
It's amazing. We just got him out of here. This is-
Oh, no, that's just me. I just feel better. Okay.
oh man, silly me.
That's good. I mean,
Well, the one thing Tony Robbins says about gratitude that I've always latched onto is he said it's impossible to be afraid and hold gratitude at the same time. It's impossible to be angry and hold gratitude at the same time. And so, like for me, a lot of times when I feel myself in a emotional space that I don't want to be in or that I know is not productive, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm scared, I'm is when I start to think with gratitude about the things in my life, like my kids, my family, like it will just kind of slowly silence that other voice. Like it just kind of mutes it, right? Like that's like that. It's a Saturday and you're sitting around and I'm all up in, my brain and just charging around about a million things. And I'm saying to myself, like, Keith, you should just be here now.
Yes.
But you can't disconnect. You can't feel it. That's when I'll kind of start to go more into like a gratitude practice. Like, you know what? I love the little snuggles with my like little guy watching a movie. I love the fact that I'm here, or my dog, and when you start to do that, it's weird how that other voice gets so quiet.
Yeah.
If I make it through this podcast without crying, that's going to be a huge thing.
That's pretty good.
Because it's true. It's like those little moments and you take it for granted. I was in a women's group dinner last Wednesday with Julie, and I was just struck with that of like, we're just busy, going all the time. And I'm like, I have these 2 little girls that are just want to stop, right? Put the phone away, focus on me, talk to me. My little Elizabeth will hold my face and she'll literally go, "You're so beautiful." Like she does it all the time. And I am so worried about pineapple and strawberries making it to downtown. It's like that stuff, they're going to be fine without the pineapple and the strawberries. Not saying that to the employees. I'm just saying like they can pick a different smoothie. Like everything, it's going to be okay. And I think I learned some of that from you. Is you used to say like people will figure it out if you don't respond, because I would respond. He does. He says that a lot. It's like
it's okay. I want to clarify this here.
Right.
I want to clarify this here.
Okay, he does respond.
Well, I'll clarify with 2 statements, and I'll let you back to your story. One is, I think that as leaders and as servant leaders, our initial reaction a lot of times is to step in and save people.
Yes. Absolutely.
Especially if we have the answer or we can.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I see Alicia's really upset. Hold on, Alicia, come here. Let me just, and I can share something with you or do something for you that will make that go away. But what we don't understand is that time on task over time, in the aggregate, we are robbing them of learning and of that process, right? Number 2 is, I've had this saying that I am, and I don't know where I got it from, but I am very comfortable with other people being uncomfortable. And I don't know what that comes from, but what I've noticed is that there's a benefit to it. Now that can be very easily manipulated into like Keith doesn't care or Keith is non-responsive. And I gotta own it. It's a delicate balance. Have I been unresponsive when I should have been sometimes? I'm sure. Have I been a little bit more callous to things than I should have? I'm sure. But what I have found is that there's kind of a secret balance or secret sauce to letting people figure things out on their own. And sometimes even when they're reaching out, and they're like, "Jordan, I know you have your phone on you. Why are you not answering me? This and that." It's like, because I believe in you enough to know that you're going to handle that situation the best way you can, and that in the big picture, things are going to be okay. And so I am comfortable enough in my own position as a leader and with myself to let you be uncomfortable. And that can be manipulated or can be felt like it's very manipulative or that he's
doesn't care.
Yeah, but if you look at it over time, I think that the one-offs, right? But once you build a relationship and understanding, I feel like it naturally progresses to a point where they only call you for the things that actually matter. So like when I call you, unless I'm asking him to get a private jet on a random Thursday, when
that was the last time Alicia called me.
I was like, "Hey, can you get a private jet?"
You highly overestimate the amount of money I make.
I had no clue.
You think highly of me,
but it was just like, if I call you, I need you. Like I need something.
Yeah.
And that's a respect that's grown over time. And I think that it was very good leadership. And
a lot of times business partners and even into day-to-day operations, people want the autonomy of people love it when I tell them, "Hey, Alicia, this is your baby. I'm going to let you win and lose. I'm going to be a good business partner for you. I'm here for advice." And they're like, "That's awesome. He's going to give me the autonomy in this role to lead this thing." And they want all that. But then they call me on a Saturday. They're like, "Hey, what should I do?" And I'm like, "You got it. You're good." And then they're like, "How dare he? How he doesn't even care about this business." He's like, "Oh, no. So when I said I was going to let you win or lose on your own, everyone's okay with the winning thing, right?" Yeah. But when it starts to be the losing thing, they're like, "This SOB, he doesn't even care," But it's one of those things where I think even with parenting, and this is where I always bring things back to is, they tell you right now, if you want to ruin your kid, just do stuff for him. Period. If you don't have to be impoverished or be poor or super wealthy or whatever. For kids, a lot of learning and growing is by doing. Yes. And so stop tying your damn kids' shoes. Stop finding their jacket for them when they can't find it. Stop. And that's where me and my spouse a lot of times will I don't say fight or butt heads, but I'm like, I have to grab her by their arm. I'd be like, "Stop." He's either going to be cold today at recess or he's going to find his jacket.
Yeah, he
Or he's
won't forget
not,
it
but
again.
like,
He won't, no.
stop. You know, but that's how we learn. But we forget that, and we
Yeah.
forget that as business people. Like,
Yes.
if we always jump in and save the day, you know, what's your business look like in 5 years if you don't do that versus 5 years if you do look like that?
Yeah.
I'm assuming drastically different. You know?
Oh, it's huge. Like, because I've started taking Lo to school in the mornings, and finally I'm like, wait, why are we making your lunch? You're 10 years old. Now she just makes her lunch. And sometimes it's those things we think, oh, maybe they're not capable, but we also, if you don't give somebody a chance or an expectation, you may never know. And I think you can scale that simple lunch analogy up to like, if I don't ever trust Alicia to go in and meet with a client because we may lose the business.
Yeah.
Like, then that means I have to meet with the client every single time.
Yep.
If I don't trust that you're going to close the loan, that means I have to be the guy with the lender every single time. And if I look back to the greatest flaw in my business is that I am in a lot of those key position circles. And then I'm like, well, Alicia, can you just tackle this? Can you go? Like, I think I have to probably hop on a call right after this at 1 o'clock, right? To do a call with Odom. And I'm like, wait, that's why?
Why am I?
It's because I didn't, and that one's a little different, but like, it's just, I didn't take the time to set it up. And then I expected you to just jump in.
Yeah.
And then when you
Well,
did,
and even to the extent if you do that long enough, I mean, it's like you can get indignant and be like, how can she not take a sales call today at 1? She's worked here for 10 years.
Exactly.
Like, how can she not do that? And it's like,
Yeah.
because you haven't given her a chance in 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
you never
right?
taught her.
And
you
then
never-
when
yeah.
you need it to happen, you're upset or indignant. And I think it's, you know,
And so that's a lot of mine now. It's like, okay, how do I bring somebody along with that? Because I need to now catch you up on a conversation about a multi-tiered capital stack that's contingent on preferred equity funding in the middle of Q1. And I'm like, wait a second. Like,
Yeah.
all right, here we go. We're backing this thing way up if we're going to do this. Or that's the role I take. And then I got to delegate these. And I think I always thought of myself as a good delegator, and I am terrible. Because in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, she's not going to do it anyway. So all this did was buy me a little time. And hopefully it comes back to me not in as bad a mistake.
Yeah.
And instead of like now started working with people to take, and then it's like, they're better at it than
Yeah.
me.
And how cool, you can do that pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like you can make that shift
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
And they'll love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll be
and-
scared for a little bit. but
And,
they'll
and
be
things
fine.
will happen. So that's the other thing. Mistakes happened.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah,
the pineapple and
absolutely.
strawberries didn't show up.
Yeah.
Even though you thought,
Correct.
hey, I gave you a lot of autonomy.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, it's like, now that person learned it's the forgot your coat and you were cold. Okay, you're not going to forget it next time. You're not going to forget the pineapple piece. You're not
Correct.
going to forget
Yeah.
those things. And I think enough of those done over time builds consistency and ultimately creates a better experience. So.
Yeah, for sure.
well, and I think as a leader, again, it's if you charge into those moments in the moments that you need them, it's different than when you're poised or you put purpose into it. And what I mean by that is when I decide to give Alicia the autonomy today to take a sales call that I haven't, but it's because I need her to.
Yeah.
That's very different than if I say, okay, today I'm going to let Alicia take a sales call because it's important that she learns it. But then you come at it again, like that hiking analogy.
different.
When I'm coming at it, like I'm with a novice or it's their first time, I'm going to treat it way differently than aggro, immediate, all that kind of stuff. So I think so much of leadership, I guess is what I'm saying, is like putting yourself in the frame of mind to be a leader.
Yeah.
And when I find that I am a good leader and when I find that I am not so good of a leader, I would say that's a lot of times the biggest differentiator is like, Keith, you weren't a good leader today, but quite frankly, like you weren't in a leadership headspace.
Yeah.
You were in a get things
Get
done
things that you're doers
headspace.
headspace.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
were in a
exactly.
like
Exactly.
charging, down the path of productivity headspace. That's not great leadership headspace, right?
Yes.
And the days that I have like more of a leadership mindset is when I think my people appreciate it more and people grow and learn and just doesn't feel the same way. So you just have to make sure you're prepared for that.
For sure.
So what's next for Alicia?
Airport, baby.
Airport.
Yeah. I need to. I'm excited. It's been a couple years in the making. It's a long process, but we're in there for 10 years.
It's cool.
Yeah, we're really excited. Should be, fingers crossed, March or April is kind of
cool.
what they're thinking. I told them that it should be March because Method is crazy during March with basketball teams. We make a ton of smoothies for the men's and the women's Gonzaga teams. Typically, we'll do 1 to 2, 3 orders a week.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then usually we'll get the teams that are competing against them too. So it's like method, which is awesome. So I'm excited. Hopefully we can get it open in March because all March Madness, all the teams.
Do you tell the other teams that this is why Gonzaga is so good?
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
just so
It's
you
a
know,
legit.
It's legit. Yeah.
It's legit. It's legit.
You thought it was the talent. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, it's the smoothie.
what we're feeding them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm excited for that. Just because, again, going back to the fast food thing that you were talking about earlier, I feel like airports are the same way. There's a lot of dining options in an airport, but there's not very many good ones.
No,
Yeah.
no.
When you're in an airport traveling, I always feel like, it's trash.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good. It is
I know.
awesome.
It's
So there's Thomas in the AB. There's going to be Thomas Hammer, where Starbucks used to be. There's us, Shelby's Burgers, and the Yards Brunchin'.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And then on the C, which here in the next couple of years, you're going to be able to go across the concourses, which
makes sense.
Huge. But Chad White's Puerto is amazing. I went there. I've gone there twice. And then Melt's.
that?
It's on the C concourse. So if you fly Alaska.
But it's not out in town. It's okay.
No,
these
it's just
are
in
all
the airport.
concourse.
Yeah.
So what they did was
gotcha.
do a local one. Brick West actually put up for, I think Iron Goat got it.
Yes,
actually.
Iron Goat
So
did,
Iron
yeah.
Goat will be in there.
And Jack
but-
and Dan's.
And Jack and Dan's.
And Melt's grilled cheese.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an
It's
amazing
gonna be
airport.
Airport's
Wow.
gonna be good. Yeah, you might go
Yeah.
there for dining options.
I know, right?
Are you flying anywhere? No.
No.
Just want to go try the food buffet.
Well, is it inside or outside security? That's the question.
it's
It's
out inside
inside.
security.
Yeah.
So you gotta be
I don't know. We
traveling.
got to figure that out.
You got to be traveling, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's what's next. I'm excited about that. Yeah. And then honestly, I'm at a place where I'm excited to see what Nolan does next.
That's cool.
He wants to build a house. And I'm like, not our house, but like for someone else. And he's an amazing contractor, a visionary. And I'm like, let's do it. You know?
That's cool.
Super talented, yeah.
Super talented guy.
My message to Nolan, right? I'm gonna look at the camera. Nolan, you got this, buddy.
Yes.
I think, Nolan is very. I would say he's very humble. Like he's
So
very
humble.
unassuming. Like you talk to him,
super
right?
nice, yeah.
And then, but it's like if you see his work or you know him, you're like, man, he's
Super good to be that humble.
yeah, or he's
he's
just kind of a
so
sleeper,
humble.
right? Like he'll never go out of his way to, I think, talk himself up or to sell his abilities. And I don't think I've ever seen anything Nolan's ever done, and which is a variety of things. I'm like, hey, can you fix this siding? Hey, can you like build this chimney? Hey, can you like like a million different things? And he just there it always is like good. And you're like, oh, it's like a.
Yeah, like a parking lot sign. I parked in the guest parking. It was awesome. He built those.
Did you?
Yeah,
Well, I know.
funny.
I was like, did you park there? But
I
yes.
did. I was like, I'm a guest today. I'm parking.
Me and Nolan, I feel like I have a special bond just over Alicia. You know,
They
Makes
do.
sense.
I see him at the gym sometimes, but I feel like
I love
it's because he
that.
knows. I think it's because he knows that I know, and I know that
I think
he
it's a
knows.
sounds like
you
a
know?
reciprocal effect.
I'd be like the days,
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
Alicia
of
would
the
really
days
get
that-
on me, you know, some days, and then like Nolan would come in, I'd be like, Nolan, dude. And we just make eye contact, and it was. He's
And
like,
you would
"Dude."
just know.
He's like, I know, and I'd be like, we don't even have to talk about it, man. Let's just sit next to each other.
Oh, and I'm so proud of him for doing the gym thing.
Yeah,
that's been great for him.
cool.
And so it's so funny because I was like, I need my girls because he's got his gym guys and his golf guys and his group guys. Anyways, he's just got all these guys and does his things all the time. And I'm like, where's my...
Guys are good at that.
Yes.
I apologize real quick, but I have to edit this. I have to hop on this call real
Okay.
quick.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep going? Can we keep going? This
I don't
one will
know
actually be
what time
quicker.
it is.
It's like 1:03.
How long have we been going?
I think we just started later. So it's like
Go
45.
take the call.
Sorry, Brendan, real
Yeah,
quick.
good.
Let's see.
No, Odom is, a thing.
Well, I'm
I
hoping to
get
do
it.
it quicker.
an hour and 4 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty cool, so I'll just stay here.
Well, I mean, we can wrap. Jordan's got to make this call, but I was going to wrap anyway.
Hey, can you hear me? Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. The audio wasn't working.
What do you got going today?
1 second.
I got these, and then I've got to meet a guy up at the new addition up there in Garland on the Masonic. We got
Okay.
a med spa gal going in there.
Really?
So yeah,
That's cool.
they do. I don't know,
What's the name of it? Is it like a known or
dude. Honestly, I'm terrible. I didn't ask too many questions. I was like, "Can you pay?" No. It's two gals that have been friends forever that work in different spots, but they each want to do their own thing. And so they're just going to divide it like top bottom. So like the one gal who's taken the top, her name's Christina, and she does like Botox, fillers, I think this sort of stuff. And then she has like a recovery, like, what am I calling it? Hyperbaric chamber.
Oh yeah.
You know, so she like has clients come in and like does their stuff, and then they sleep in the little chamber, hang out in there on their phone for whatever. And then the gal down below does more like hair, nails, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so they each work at different spots, and so I think they're coming together. And so I don't know if they're going to like stay independently branded or if they're going to come up with a new name, but I think,
Cool.
they were talking about like Garland, whatever, something Garland-esque, right? Something North Hill-esque, something that kind of health and beauty and Garland and different combinations of words or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was chatting with Kyle about that space, the Garland space, and possibly thinking about going back to our roots, but then we just kind of decided to stay at the Amplify Washington office, and I'm just going to take over his old office.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're just going to stay there.
Where's he going to go?
He actually just moved over to where they were like media room.
Oh, yeah,
And he redid it. Because
Are you talking about right when you walk in? Is he that front office right when you walk in?
No. So he's because you got to sit in it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's when you
his
were
new
there.
office.
Yeah,
Got
his
it.
old office was like by Real Vantage,
Okay.
and then we're across the way, obviously. So we're just gonna take both of those
Oh, nice.
offices and stay there. It's so hard to move Appfolio addresses and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it again.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I told Nolan to reach out to you though
About what?
about the house. He's got a vision,
Oh,
and I was like, you should call Keith,
cool.
see what he's doing. Build a house together.
Build a house together. We might both have to live here, Nolan.
Yeah, we might both move in together.
Make sure it has 2 kitchens.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited to get that Garland spot stabilized, and I think these people will be a good fit. And then I just need to focus back down here. But I've picked up 2 tenants down here in the last like 2 weeks,
Good.
and I've started to kind of push it. But if I can get this building full, and I get Garland full, it makes like life way easier for me because I've been spending. I mean, I don't even know. It was like I was talking to my wife the other day, but it was like I don't even know the last time like I haven't been bleeding cash into like a building, but like substantial. Like, I don't know, it's like I bought Garland, but you got to realize like I bought that half city block, but like I did the basement and then I did the upstairs, but then we did the patio outside and then we did North Hill.
Yeah.
And then we built the apartments and we do, it's like, dude, it's been like 5, 6, 7 years where like it was either construction every year or just a gap between to like save money or plan to the next phase. And then, when the apartment's in kind of the last phase of that, because it's, it's done now as far as building's concerned, I bought this.
Yeah.
And it was like carpet, paint, demo, it's just been like, and so now I'm down here and it's just like, but it's like this one's pretty much done now. There's not too many major things I've been doing to this thing anymore. Other than just like there's little independent offices, but it's like between that and this, just to have them both like, okay, they're done, lease them up, and then I just need to like not bite into anything. It's just like, okay, makes life quite a bit different. But I feel like I've been saying it forever and I've been living it forever, but it's just definitely one of those things where it's like, because you have to be making or creating the money to pay for that, and so. Not only does it like stop the bleeding, but it also stops the pressure on the other aspect of the money making thing. Cause it's like, if I just wake up every day and I just need to make the amount of money that I need to make to like live my life, it's not that much money. It's not that hard.
Yes. Yeah.
But when I need to make enough money to like live my life,
Cover
but then
this.
also put $100,000 into this building and put $50,000, it's like, I don't know. It's like very daunting to wake up and January 1st be like, I need to make $500,000 this year. It's like, fuck, can I just make like 100? Can I just do that, please? Just not, because we don't live a super extravagant life, Yeah. It's like
Our biggest expense is just eating out. We can be pretty bad about that because we work so much. And so that can be.
Well, and I don't,
We don't really do much else. Like that's kind
we
of.
usually take 1 or 2 vacations a year that are decent size, $5,000 or something or whatever. But I think also for us, it's just the monthlies of she goes to the gym and I go to the gym. And it's like, you don't realize, but it's like we probably spend close to like $800 a month in gym memberships and stuff because it's like she does personal or one-on-one, you know, and I do group, but it's like, not do I regret it? Is it worth it? Probably. But still, it's hard to like stomach. Like, dude, we spend $800 a month on a gym.
Yeah.
When you could go to Move Fitness or whatever for like $29 a month. And
We
I'm like,
spend $500 at the same gym, and we own a gym.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure we're doing it right.
Well, I don't know. But again, out of all the things I spend money on, that's not like, you know. But I would say gym and then school, man, for kids. You know, Charlie goes to private school, and so it's like that's $6,000 a year, and then they bumped it to $65,000. Which again, in the big picture, it's not a lot. But you start adding up. Okay, so between Charlie's school and the gym, it's like it's a G a month.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's a decent chunk of change.
Is she at
St. Thomas?
St. Thomas. Okay. Yeah. Do you like it?
Love it.
You do.
Love
okay.
it. Love it.
We're like going back and forth about Northwest or for the girls, or just going to Evergreen or what we're gonna do, but I don't know.
And I don't know much about Northwest. Like both of my brothers,
yes,
put their kids through there.
Yeah.
I would say they seem happy. I would say I've heard both of them though, like chatter wise, they've had a few run-ins things with like different teachers or coaches or stuff where they weren't real happy with like how something was handled or this and that, and that stuff happens. But what I can say is like I've never had that with St. Thomas More ever. Mm-hmm. It's the weirdest thing. Like I just feel like they cater so much to the kids and to the parents, and like they've never done anything shady. I've never seen any sort of weird. They're just so, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about them, but they have that Catholic school religious vibe. They're not overly
pushy.
Yeah. There's no expectation, right?
Yeah.
But they offer all the things, and ultimately, I think it's just a good atmosphere for the kids.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
For them to learn and grow up and to be who they are, and especially when they're that, you know, Charlie's at the age where I like feel like from like 4th to 8th grade, like they're just so awkward.
Yes.
They're goofy. They're going through puberty.
Oh yeah.
Their teeth are weird.
I know.
They're
the haircut.
boobies.
They're
just
we're weird.
Yeah. You're like you just, but they just let them, you know, do their thing. But they don't. But there is no, you know, and that's just my agenda. But there isn't like. There's no like trans thing. There's no like fucking you know, it's like the politics are gone. They're like, you know. So which I don't know if that's happenstance or whatever, but it's just so nice to have to deal with it.
Yes.
Like my kid, it's not a thing my kid has to deal with, but it's also not a distraction for them. Like it would be very hard to sit there and learn social studies in any environment, but then it's like you throw in puberty and you throw in awkwardness or you throw in whatever. But then now you start throwing in like pissed off parents and politics and who's using what bathrooms or like for kids, I feel like that's so distracting. Yeah. It's like, how am I supposed to sit here and learn, do math when, you know, there's a fight in the hallway about
whatever,
who, you know, somebody like didn't get identified with the proper gender terms or something. Like, I just think it's such a disservice to those kids that like one more thing they have to worry about.
For sure. Yeah. And it's cool that they're not very pushy, you know, as far as religion goes, because Charlie gets to kind of grow in her own choice there, you know?
Yeah, and she's very, I don't know. It's funny that she kind of gets the best of both worlds at that school because she's not confirmed. And so she can't do any like the altar service, or she can't do any whatever, but she kind of likes it. Yeah. So like I was talking to her one day about like her faith and just, you know, I was like, hey Charlie, how do you feel about it? She's like, oh Dad, I really like it and this and that. I mean, she prays and she, you know, she knows all about the Bible. I mean, more than I did at her age, is Jesus and all the stories and the Gospels. But then I'm like, so do you think you want to get like First Communion going, you know? And she's like, oh, I don't know, Dad, then I'm going to have to do altar service. And I was like, Charlie, that is not a good reason to avoid First Communion or confirmation. Is you don't have to like do. She's like, yeah, but then Dad, like, what if they? I'm like, dude, I was like, you little jerk. That's so funny.
It's funny. It's honest.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You know, but I saw it both ways because I grew up Catholic, and you know, we did all the things, but I went to a public school, and then I had other friends that went to St. Thomas More or prep or Catholic schools. But they were like, I feel like a lot of them were more jaded than I was. You know, like I was like, but maybe they were like overly exposed or.
I don't know. They're kind of in a bubble because Colton goes to Northwest, you know, and he's a junior there. And they're just in this little bubble.
Yeah.
And it's like, luckily, he's, you know, working at the gym, working at Method. So, like, he's getting some real life experience. But all of his friends are just like, I just have my little area, do my thing. And
yeah, it's funny. You try to provide them the stuff and protect them from the things. And then it just creates its own problem or issues. You know, there is no perfect, but there's also no hiding from anything really. It's like whatever you shelter them from or you know, protect them from or provide for them, it's just going to ancillarily create some sort of other thing. So I don't know. I think Tater's the one I'm worried about. Charlie's fine. She'll be fine. Tater's going to be the one that's difficult.
Why is he a lot like you?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I think there's definitely some apple doesn't fall far from the tree thing. But I also think it's more like parents aside, like Charlie is very wants to or gets some of her own validation by compliance or meeting standard or following like she wants to be a good student.
Yes. Okay.
She wants to be nice to her classmates. She wants people in her class to think, you know, sweet of her or but she gets something from that in return, right? Like it's a two-way street. I'm sure she's doing it for the external as well as the internal accolades, but it's innate.
Yes.
You know,
it's in her. It's built.
So so you're not having to pull real hard to get it out of her. And Tate just has that really kind of honey badger. Like he just doesn't care. And it's not like a bad, like I think he's very sweet. He's nice. He's kind. He's not mean. He doesn't like, you know, I haven't seen any sort of like deviant behavior, but he just doesn't, I don't think, pull anything personally from it. Like he could throw a ball and you could be like, hey buddy, nice throw. And he'd be like, ugh, you know, wasn't a spiral, Dad. And it's like, but, you know, same thing. He could throw a terrible ball, and I could be like, dude, what are you doing? You know how to throw a spiral? And he'd be like, whatever, Dad. Like, he doesn't, good or bad, he doesn't seem to, like, weigh it on himself, you know? He's like, I know when I throw the ball good, and that's all that I really care about.
Yeah.
You can tell me. And so it's like, and that I resonate with. So I'm like, yeah, that's going to be problematic. It's going to be a fun time.
Just to kind of learn, the way that he receives, right, the love languages, the way he receives it.
Yeah.
You know, because Charlie is probably, like, it sounds like words of affirmation or that confirmation.
Physical touch. I would say Charlie probably gives me, like, more hugs than any person in my whole life. Like, she's just that person. Like, I can be at a friend's house or wherever, just be talking with my hands to whatever, and I'll just, like, feel, like, pressure. She'll just come over and just, like, lean on me. And I'm like, hey, girl. Like, you know, she's just very, like...
touchy.
Nuzzly.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And Tate's not like that? Or...
Only when he gets, like, tired or sleepy.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's, like... doesn't even keep his shirt on.
I have seen some of those posts that you have.
I
love it.
J-Mac one day, it was like, I came down there. The kids had already been down there playing, and I came down there, and it was like, I walk in, and, like, all three of their shirts are off. You know, they're pillow fighting in the living room. I said something like, "Oh, no shirt day on, boys," or whatever. And J-Mac looks at me. He's like, it's like the first thing Tate does. He's like, he'll come down here through the door, and he's like, he kicks his shoes off, and he'll just pull his shirt off
and
throws
takes
them on
his
top
shirt
of his
off.
shoes. Yeah, he like just gets there. He's like, hey, and he like kicks his shoes off and just throws his shirt on. And he's like, I'm here.
I love that.
Sorry about that one.
Such a boy. No, you're good. Yeah,
How
we're
does
just
that
talking
work?
kids.
Oh, kids.
Kids, school, life.
I didn't know you were about to end it anyway, but
I was,
like
but then I was like, now I got to figure out where we were.
oh, I remember where we were.
Where were we?
I don't know.
Where were we?
Brandon, do you remember the last part? We were talking about Nolan for sure.
Oh.
And started building a house, and shout out to Nolan. And then I was like, well, we could probably
I'll
still.
keep jogging memory. It was like it was kind of small talk. It felt like you were wrapping up.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure except for it was like 104, and I'm like, oh, they're sitting on that call. I didn't think about that.
You're talking about
I think it was Nolan building your house.
Nolan building a house, yeah.
Yeah, and him being humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't help me at all, but
I would just be like, oh, so where are you going to build your house? So that sounds cool.
So
Are we good, Brennan? So what kind of house is it?
So he did masonry contracting for 18 years and worked for his uncle's company. And so he's built all sorts of different masonry. The Wonder Building downtown, he redid that. Like he was in charge of redoing that for Spokane Masonry, his uncle's company. And so
does he want to build a brick house?
So he actually did 2 years ago. I'm
sure he's done brick houses.
No,
but I'm
for his company. Which is pretty cool. Yeah. 2 years ago. Do you know where Thai Bamboo is on the South Hill and all those pretty houses behind it? Go drive up there sometime soon. And he built the only brick house. It looks like a fire department, but it's all brick. And him and his brother did that. And so I don't think that's what he wants to build. I think he truly wants to build like a nice house with some good masonry just on the front. And he has been doing that.
Well, I would imagine that's how you got to do it nowadays, right? Because when I think of a brick house, first thing I think of the Three Little Pigs.
Yes.
Right? Solid.
Because a house of straw,
that doesn't work.
It's not going to make it. No.
And I'll be honest, there's a lot of big bad wolves running around. So that's the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second thing I think of is got to be expensive.
Yes.
Gotta be expensive. Because what a lot of people don't know about brick, and I don't know a ton, but like it's like you don't build a brick house with one layer of brick.
Yeah, it has block typically,
right? And so that's kind of like usually the brick you see, like the red brick or whatever, is the most outer layer of like cinder block or of double stacked brick. I didn't know that until I started like cutting into brick houses and making windows and stuff. And you're like, oh, it's way thicker than I thought. Yeah. And I don't know why I thought it was different before.
And that's like a true brick. Like what we build now is brick facade.
Yeah, brick facade.
Like where you're putting up a masonry wall.
Yes.
And so we're just putting a facade
or stone
on it.
Or
and the reason is because of, like I said, it's so expensive.
Yeah.
Like if you were to build a legitimate brick house, brick by brick.
Nice. I'm telling you, it's catchy. People will remember it.
Go drive up there. You would really love it. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. I can't imagine what the cost per square foot on that would be.
Oh, it's a lot.
But he has here's the thing, is over the last 4 years with the business, he's had to find good subcontractors. So he's had to find his flooring guy. Because he's been doing remodels and stuff. Yeah. So last night we're sitting at Texas Roadhouse eating their rolls. Oh, so
delicious.
Never been there.
What?
I'm telling you. I know. But I've
never
really
tried it?
I actually look at you differently. No, I'm just kidding.
Judged.
Tonight, go to Texas Roadhouse. Take Joey. Go have the rolls with the butter.
I don't even know if you got to get to the entree. You just go have the rolls.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, we're sitting there eating Texas Roadhouse rolls. And he's like naming off every contractor that he has. He's like, I have the framing, I have the concrete, I have the floor guy, I have the windows, and he has all these relationships. I'm like, honey, you can build a house.
Yeah. For sure you can.
Yeah. So do it. Yeah. And he's just holding himself back. And a huge piece of holding himself back has been because of the businesses that all of our time has been poured into that. And so that's what I mean by now being at that place in my life is like, I want to focus on the kids, keep these businesses running and let him do it. Now's the time. And he's an artist too. He used to draw a ton. And so I'm like, draw the house, draw what you want, and go talk to someone and do it. Like, you're completely capable. He's so smart. He's so efficient. Efficiency is like in his, property management drives him insane because you can never get in with the code. The code never works. The key doesn't work. The tenant never answers. Right? It's like,
welcome to my life.
Yeah,
I know.
Trust me. I know that one.
Yeah. So hopefully that takes off.
Be cool to see.
Well, we were just talking on our last episode, and Brendan is going to mark the date for 2028.
Yeah,
I think. Well, we're going to have a reunion tour, so we want you back on the reunion tour.
Talk about the new house.
Yes. By then, yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
You'll be living in it. Yeah. You'll be like, well, we decided to keep it.
Yes, why not?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, thank you for
thank you so much.
Yep,
thank you for so much taking the time out of your busy day with all the stuff you got going and coming down here and talking to these two schmucks. So.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
it.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Thanks for listening to today's episode. While you're out there, would you please do us a favor and give us a like, subscribe, or a follow, whether you listen on Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube. We'd really appreciate it. Also, if you don't mind while you're there, give us a 5-star review. Maybe write a review. If you have a favorite episode, feel free to give it a like. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it.